Hello, welcome everybody. This is the introductory video for the Reconq browser. Reconq is a web browser for KDE based on WebKit. It first focuses on being a right, fast, clean way to access to net. Its development is doubly based on using the new amazing features offered by the WebKit rendering engine and on the rock solid network KDE technologies. Reconq is an open source web browser which is developed by using C++ and Qt. Qt is a cross-platform graphical widget toolkit for the development of GUI computer program. So Reconq is a combination of both C++ and Qt. Default browser of the Kubuntu. The Reconq is the default browser for Kubuntu operating system, and the Reconq code size is so small, so it's heavily influenced for its speed. So
hello, welcome everybody. We are going to talk about a web browser called Reconq. Reconq web browser is an open source web browser which is developed by C++ and Qt, a default web browser of Kubuntu. And the specialty of this browser is the code is very small and it can be used and read by any person because the functionalities and the functions are named easily and understandable manner and well commented. So if we go further, the Kubuntu web is open software is implemented using C++ language, and the Reconq is also implemented using C++ language. So throughout this video we are going to talk about how C++ language implementation of Reconq web browser is helped to make a better browser, how the code is used for a better to implement a better web browser. The essence of C++ is allow the programmers to comprehend and manage large, more complex programs, because C++ language is very simple. It can be readable and write by any programmer without having any professional programming knowledge. And if we go further, we can see the more advantages in C++ language. C++ is a compiled language. A compiled language means a compiler is compiling the source program into a target language, and the other type of languages are interpreted languages, and interpreted languages use an interpreter. That means they are directly converted to a output, not a source target program. Compiled language, they convert source program into a target program. That means we can use that target language in any machine and anywhere. And C++ is good support for generic programming, and C++ is readily available for our target hardware. A common code base is shared across multiple hardware platforms, which widely varying CPU and memory systems. So if we talk further, C++ is support object-oriented programming. That is a very good feature in C++. Object-oriented language means it encapsulates all the methods and functions into a class. That means it's a one feature of object-oriented programming, and there are other features just like inheritance and polymorphism, and there are so many, and so advantages are also in object-oriented languages. The modern and powerful languages like Java, C#, all they are object-oriented, and the C++ is also a supporting object-oriented concept. That is a very good feature. And also the Reconq source code is implemented using this principle. So it's very easy to read and reusable code because of this object oriented design. So as we talked earlier, there are three options in object oriented. Those are encapsulation, inherited, and polymorphism. So if we talk about further these methods, these features of object oriented, first we talk about the encapsulation. First we shall look at what is encapsulation. The definition is the property of being self-contained until is called encapsulation. With encapsulation we can accomplish data hiding, and data hiding is widely valued characteristic. So as we were talking, C++ supports the properties of encapsulation through the creation of user-defined types called classes. So as we talked earlier also, C++ support the object-oriented principles. That means we can define classes in C++ also. So if we go further and check what the coding, how they have implemented class design in the Reconq coding. So as you can see in this side, you can see the source code of Reconq web browser, and you can see how the classes were used. So it's also same as the principle is same as the pure object oriented concept was used in other languages, just like in Java. We can define classes, private methods, and functions. All the things can be done in C++ also, because it's widely supporting object oriented. So if we move further to the next functionality of this, it's the inheritance. Inheritance is the process by which objects of one class acquire the properties of object of another class. That means the reducing the unnecessary codes used in classes. That means we can use same coding by inheriting another class to a parent class. So it reduces the unnecessary coding. It's a very good feature in object oriented, and it's also C++ supports the inheritance. That's the best part of this thing. So we can use a coding which is used by another class. That means we are following the method of parent-child relationship in this inherited concept. So if we go further and check how it is done in this coding, as you can see in this slide, this is a coding in Reconq web browser. So you can see how inherited property was used here. You can see init bookmark function inherited from the main window. So main window is the parent class and the init bookmark bar is the child class here. So init bookmark bar can inherit the methods and attributes in the main window class. So you can see in the another example also, the setup toolbar also using the same method. And if you go further, there's another example. Main windows event function is inherited from the main window class. So it's widely used in this Reconq coding. As you can see, it's very good feature in object oriented, and it was used by the Reconq web browser. So it's a good implementation and good feature to use. So if we quickly check on the coding, so you can see in here how the inheritance was done. So there you can see all these methods are inherited from the main window. All these functions are done in same way. So you can see the minimalism of the coding, redundance of the coding. So there we don't want to use the same coding in this all in these methods. We can inherit the parent class as the main window class and the child class as the other class, and we can inherit the methods of the parent class to the child classes. So we quickly move into the next feature here is it's the polymorphism. That's the next feature in object oriented. So we'll check what is polymorphism. The definition of polymorphism says ability to take more than one form. That means if we take just like a plus mark used in programming, so it used in several methods, in several its ways. So polymorphism gives just kind of that kind of an idea. So C++ supports the idea that an object to the right thing through what is called function polymorphism and class polymorphism. Those are sub functions in polymorphism. So if we go further and check what coding says, as you can see in this coding, the ampersand here used as an condition. In if condition, if both these conditions are checked, both these conditions are true, then only this if condition gets true. And here ampersand means it's passed by reference. So you can see the same symbol is used for different purposes.